Hello, Spartan families. This is Superintendent Tim Saxton, and I'm here with board member John Landers. The purpose of this video is to give you an update on what we've been doing with our facilities committee. Just to give you a brief review on what is a facilities committee, it's a group of about a dozen Spartan stakeholders, and that includes school officials, school administrators, but also a nice dose of our community members, our parents. And we have an architect that's a parent, we have an engineer that's a parent, we have a parent that has children in multiple buildings, and they're all advising us and giving us input as we start to navigate through this process of taking a look at what a new replacement to Boardman Center Intermediate School could look like. All right, so what has this committee been working on? Well, we've looked at how school financing impacts construction. We've taken a look at the current state of Center Intermediate School. We've looked at some new construction. And all this is working together to see how we would partner with the Ohio Facilities Construction Commission to potentially build a new building.
The Ohio Facilities Construction Commission, or the OFCC, is a group that helps public entities like school districts like ours with construction projects. We engaged with them in around 2014 to evaluate potentially replacing Center. At that time, their share, or what they would provide to our project, was at about 17% of the cost of a new building. Now, 10 years later, that number is 31%. That allows us to have more substantial conversations as we build what's called a district master plan with the OFCC. They look at all of our buildings and they determine a number to renovate the buildings or to replace the buildings. And one of the first recommendations that they came back with is a replacement for Center Intermediate School. However, as we continue to work with the OFCC and look at that data, one thing that was a surprise is that they are also calling to replace Glenwood Junior High, possibly in some sort of combined building or footprint.
The main drive behind the creation of this facilities group is to decide if we are ready to build. And that obviously is a partnership with the OFCC. But the challenge is to not only be ready to build, but we want to build this without pushing additional tax burden onto our community. That's always been the challenge. Now, the good news is we passed the continuous improvement levy in November of 22, and that allowed us to have these authentic conversations. But in the mix is changing interest rates. So we'll have to take a look at the balance of, are we ready to build, and are the interest rates ready for us to go ahead and move forward with the financing?
While the OFCC recommended building one building that would replace both Center and Glenwood, we want to clarify and we want to share that having a separate 4 through 6 building and having a separate 7th and 8th grade building are important to us. While this may be one building, each of those areas would have dedicated wings and still kind of work like their own separate school. And they would have shared spaces like a cafeteria or gym that they would use as needed.
So what are the next steps? Understand we're still in the initial steps. And what the goal of the OFCC is to tell a district what size building they would support and the funding they would support to build that size. As far as how the building would look, how it would be designed, where it would be placed, how those grade levels would be separated, that's a greater conversation with a greater size committee and deeper engagement and exciting engagement with our community. Those are steps that eventually will come down the road. Understand, best case scenario, if the plan is in place and the funding is in place, we wouldn't even break ground for 3 years with kids actually in that building for 5.
In closing, we wanted to share this message to our community to provide an update of where we are at in this project. This project is a journey and has many steps and will take time, but we are committed to continue to share information with our teachers, our staff, our community, and our students. And Tim?
Hey, as always, go Spartans!